Wisdom is freedom, and living from the space within through which divine wisdom flows freely enables us to embrace the fullness of who we are in alignment with pure source. There is an inner knowing within us that allows us to move only in the direction of our appointed purpose when we enter deeply into divine wisdom and we surrender our own will to God's will. Initially in life, we arrive enthusiastic, inquisitive, passionate, spontaneous, eager, joyful, abounding with smiles, love, and laughter. We are endlessly amused by life's simplicities, and in all our innocence, go about on our daily adventures, finding infinity between sunrise and sunset. As children, we climbed trees, rolled down hills, hid in the dark and imagined conquering monsters and slaying dragons. We chased lightning bugs on summer nights, caught lizards and toads, dug for rocks and imagined that they were ancient dinosaur fossils or something rare and great. Or we just tossed them around and found endless pleasure in watching where they'd fall and what they'd hit or miss. Either way, it provided everlasting joy. We found delight in feathers, crunchy leaves beneath our feet, bubbles, snow, rain, puddles, and mud, and all kinds of earthly treasures. In our daily communion, where our individual holiness met with the holiness of Father, Mother, God, automatically through our imagination and exquisite ability to remain fully present with whatever it was we were doing, we were pure elation, wonderment, and charm. There was no limit to how much fun and fulfillment we could experience in a single day, and our inner fountains were continuously replenished by the infinite supply of Source. Somehow, somewhere along the path, we lost our way, like Hansel and Gretel in the forest, when the birds had eaten their trail of breadcrumbs and they found themselves in a new sort of terrifying and lonely darkness. We had our first encounters with blame and suddenly became the victim in our own story. We found ourselves far from home, deeply immersed in fear, and with our lives threatened and our hearts despairing, we lost touch with ourselves and began to experience a vast sense of separation from those we loved, including ourselves. The valley between our minds and our hearts widened, and we became more and more isolated, confused, overflowing with fear, shame, guilt, regret, anger, sorrow, or any number of lower emotions that tend to weigh us down and keep us low. This continues for most of us until one day our longing is greater than our fear and it drives us to do something extraordinary, and from a space of absolute trust and with sheer abandon we leap into the unknown. Our hearts begin to open as we feel them beating hard enough to break the walls of our own self-imposed prison. And the more we surrender to the flight of freedom, the more of ourselves we recover and the more we forge ahead. As the journey persists, the more courage and confidence we regain, and the more of our true selves we reclaim. We begin to feel our hearts soft and strong again, and they open like flower petals to the sun, leaning into light and love. And suddenly our inner garden blossoms, and we are surrounded by others who share our vision. The fog clears, the skies are bright, and we begin to recognize the state of wholeness and oneness. We feel connected to others and find our sacred soul community. We form bonds that support our expansion and interdependent relationships that offer harmony and the balance between giving and receiving. As we support others and are simultaneously receiving support, we begin to fulfill the greatest promise to ourselves of self-care and self-love, of wholeness and wellness, inspiration and empowerment. By this, we begin to practice living joyfully in peace, love, and light, knowing that we are free to choose the fullness of who we are with every thought, word, and action. We are aligned with infinite wisdom, and this wisdom guides our every decision from what we think to what and how we speak, to how we behave, and the choices we make. This is divine freedom, and it is my life work, vision, and mission to support everyone into living in and from this space by and through the yoga path. This is how we bring heaven in all its glory to earth, here and now, in the infinite always of the eternal, and only true moment where freedom reigns and is ours to claim. Wisdom is freedom, because when we embody enough wisdom to realize our own freedom of choice, when we choose to free our will and align with divine will, we naturally, with grace and ease, choose heaven within each moment. In this, we set ourselves eternally free and live from love divinely free in God's space.